Well, hey guys, it's Summer with Summer Sweet Shop again, here with some more Christmas cookies because I just cannot get enough Christmas cookies. This time we are decorating a lumberjack set with our Christmas tree, a Santa Claus, adorable buffalo check stocking, and of course a reindeer, a Rudolph. So thanks so much for joining me today for this fun class. I'm using my sugar cookie recipe as well as my favorite royal icing recipe. You can get both of those inside my Cookie Academy. They're listed on my website. The Cookie Academy is my online beginners course that teaches you how to make beautiful and delicious cookies. So let's go ahead and get started today. We're going to go ahead and get started with our Christmas tree first because it's probably the easiest one to do of this bunch. So I've got some olive green here. I made this olive green with the Cookie Countess olive green. So you're going to first outline, we've got 4 different sections here on our Christmas tree that we're going to do. So we are taking our piping icing and I'm just doing a nice little zigzag pattern. It does not have to be perfect. You could do different lengths, anything that your little heart desires it to be, you can do. And if you mess up like that, you're just going to go over it. You could always add some snow into this as well, which we might do at the end. So next you're going to take your flood icing and I'm going to grab my non-perils. These are some white non-perils. I believe these were probably purchased at Hobby Lobby. And you're going to do just the top and the 3rd section down. So don't do the other 2 sections because you want to show a little dimension on that cookie. So you're going to do just these first 2 sections. That one is a little separated here, so we're going to just use our scribe just to move that around a little bit. Let's try this again, and we're going to do this bottom section here. And you want to allow this to dry. It doesn't take long, maybe 15-20 minutes is all you need. You're going to add in some non-perils just as a little decoration. I can't pick them up with my fingernails for some reason. But you're going to add just a little bit of that. All right, you're going to let that dry for about, like I said, about 20 minutes. It does not take very long. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other 2 sections. So you're going to take your flood icing. So if you were to do all of it all at once, it would just kind of melt into one big Christmas tree, which would not be the end of the world. But if you're looking for some dimension, show some different techniques, show some different, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, dimension, I guess, which I already said. Now we're going to sprinkle your white non-perils again, but that's what you're going to do, is you're going to do these in sections. We like to do this with pumpkins as well. Just makes for a really cool effect. All right, and then the last thing for this Christmas tree is his trunk. So I am just going to do a zigzag, a back and forth pattern here on the trunk of the tree to add a little something. But there you have it. Super simple and easy to make him. I love it. Love the Christmas tree. He's so cute and pretty. All right, so next we're gonna have our Santa Claus. He has definitely more steps. So we went from really easy to a little bit more difficult. This one's probably the most difficult in this set, but you break it down step by step. I'm going to show you what to do so you will not be intimidated. So we're first going to start off and we are going to do his hat, his red hat, and we're going to do his face, so his skin tone. So you could pick whatever skin tone you want for that, but we're going to do his hat here first. So I'm going to outline I'm working with, this icing has a hole in the bag, and I need to go get a piece of tape, but the show must go on. All right, so I'm just gonna use my scribe just to kind of get that. There, we're gonna add a little bit of icing in there, and then we're gonna do our skin tones. You could use brown or white or ivory. I'm using ivory today, but you can use different skin tones, whatever skin tone you want. So this is where the nose will go eventually. And then I etched this out with using my projector, and I go down like that because that's kind of where his mustache, like you'll see here where the mustache goes, so that's why I wanted to leave that area there open for him. And then you're going to add in your red. Oh goodness, hopefully I have enough for our stocking. We're going to be cutting it close today, friends, cutting it close with our red. But you're going to just smooth that out. And then we're going to do our ivory. Again, this is using ivory from Americolor. And again, you're just going to smooth it out nicely like that. So you're going to let that dry for about 1 to 2 hours in front of a fan, preferably. Man. And then you are going to do the white here at section. We're going to do his white beard. So you're going to grab your white piping icing. Oh, and we got to do his, what's this called? Pom-pom. So you're going to do his white beard. So you're going to outline his white beard. You do have his ears here that we'll do in just a second as well. But we're going to kind of leave that blank for right now. And then you've got his pom-pom on his hat. I'm just going to add in a squiggle to act as extra support for that icing. Oh, and we want to go ahead and add 2 eyes. So we're going to add an eye here and an eye here. And you want to keep eyes on Santa kind of far apart because you have to get his nose in there. If you put them close together like you do with Rudolph, it's not going to work out as well. So I like to add like a little white dot with piping icing like so. And now we're going to fill in with our white flood icing. So he looks kind of funny now, but you'll see he starts to take shape once we kind of get his beard and his hat and stuff going. I say that, he really doesn't come to life until he gets done. All right, we're going to make his beard, flood his beard. This is flood icing again. Making sure I cover all that I need to. Okay, so you're going to let that dry again for about 1 to 2 hours in front of a fan before you move on to the next step. And then we're going to add his mustache. So, and actually you don't have to wait 1 to 2 hours. I take that back. You only need to wait about 30 minutes before you're going to add his mustache. We're going to add his mustache and his eyebrows and his ears. So the mustache can be the trickiest part. I used an edible marker just to kind of outline where I needed his mustache to go. And so I'm just going to follow right along that dotted line. And I'm actually going to add his ears because I don't want to mess them up here. I'm going to add his ears right here. So that's ear number 1. We have ear number 2. And then you've got the eyebrows. This one didn't have those little dots. But you're going to add his eyebrows. I'm just using piping icing for the eyebrows. And then I'm going to go back, just because it's such a small area, I'll go back and just smooth it out with my scribe when I get done, like that. Okay, now you want to add his mustache. You're going to flood it with white. Again, as you can see, Santa has a lot of steps. I've yet to find a Santa that's really simple. That doesn't take a lot of steps. He just has a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers. Okay, and then you're gonna let that dry again for probably an hour or so before you add in his nose. And this you're gonna add an oval for his nose here. So I'm just gonna go this direction. Add in a little squiggle there. Use my scribe just to kind of move the icing around for that. So it's a little bit lighter than the piping icing, but that's totally fine. And then if you want, you can add the little glare. And just kind of pull it down a little bit there. Again, it just gives it a little something. But you can see there, isn't he cute? Super, super cute. I love this Santa Claus. Okay, next is our stocking. And, oh, I just realized I need that. All right, so you're gonna first outline this with our red piping icing, just like toothpaste. And then you're going to grab your red flood icing. Hopefully I have enough to cover the whole stocking. I think we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, folks. Look at this. We're gonna add the last little bit. Look, we made it. Look at that. Just enough left. I'm gonna take my scribe and just kind of get these lines that the icing had started to separate. But now comes the fun part of getting to use the airbrush. You're gonna let that dry for a good bit before you move on to the airbrushing part. And I just like to put a paper towel down, but we're using just thin lines for this. I don't have to worry about this because we don't have to worry about that. We're gonna outline over that. So I'm gonna just do lines. Oh, and we're using Tuxedo Black airbrush color. Hey Matt, can you give me paper towel? Wet. I got it all over my hand. Nothing like live. All right. Husband to the rescue. All right, now we're just gonna have a black hand the rest of the time. Okay. It's all over that bottle. Okie doke. No biggie. Okay, so we're gonna do our lines. You're gonna go straight down and you're gonna go in layers. That's the trick for airbrushing, is you wanna go in light layers. If you were to go all at once, you're gonna puddle, and you don't want to do that. So you're gonna lift it up, take a little peeky peek, and then turn it, go in the opposite direction. So now it's going back and forth, whereas we were going up and down. Now we're going back and forth. And I just try and line up that it is like a square. So I want my checkered pattern, my gingham pattern, whatever you want to call it, checkerboard. I want it to be a square. So that's what I am looking for to line it up. And there you have it. Super cute, super cute. Now we just need to outline the top. Okay, outline the top in white piping icing. We're gonna flood it with white flood icing. Okay, you're gonna let that dry for a little bit. You're gonna come back and it's gonna look like this. And we are going to add a little holly to this. So I couldn't find my other leaf tip, but this one will work. So I'm just using a leaf tip. This is a number ST51. I'm going to show you on my finger what it's going to look like. Not really a holly leaf, but it will work for what we need it to. All right, where my paper towel go? So I'm going to add 2 holly leaves here, like so. And then we're going to add some holly berries. And so I'm going to do 1 berry here, 1 here, and 1 right there. And then you have your holly leaf. Isn't that pretty? All right, and then the last and final is our Rudolph. I love this cookie cutter. This one is from Simply Renee Sweets. The stocking is from the Sweet Design Shop, as well as the Santa, and as well as the Christmas tree. I think they're all 3 from. This is the only one that's different. So I'm gonna do some pink on his ears first. And I'm just doing kind of a teardrop here. But I'm using piping icing and just kind of flatten it out. Do the same thing on this side. Hey, Matt. Okay, now we're gonna use our black. And you're gonna use piping icing. And let's see, you're gonna outline his ears in black. So I thought it would be fun to do his ears black and white. You could do anything. You could do, typically the traditional would be to do them tan. You could do them buffalo plaid. That would be really, really cute too. I thought about doing that. I decided on the polka dots because I really liked how the polka dots looked. So I'm just going to move this around before I add in my polka dots. You're going to use your white flood icing to make your polka dots. And you're just going to do a dot and pull straight up, a dot and pull straight up. And for this, since these are really small, I'm barely even squeezing my bag. In fact, I'm not really even squeezing the bag because I want little bitty dots. So I'm hardly even squeezing anything at all. I'll turn it around here, and we're going to do the bottom section of our reindeer. You could make his whole face brown, which is what I do a lot of times, but it looks good to have like a different color down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to flood it with my ivory flood icing. I'm going to take my scribe and move my icing around like so. You're going to let that dry again for about 1 to 2 hours in front of a fan. The fan is going to give it that nice puffy, shiny icing. And then you'll have this. So we're going to outline our top section now with our brown. So you want to go around the ears. I'm going to add in this section here just to make sure that it gets that whole area and it doesn't crater. I would not want any craters at all on this cute little reindeer. Now you're going to take your brown piping icing and I'm just making sure it's together because it is kind of separated. It's been out all day. And I'm kind of just doing it upside down just so I can get all the little areas. And that's going to be nice and full and puffy. So you just want to make sure you cover all of it. And so you want that puff to be even throughout the whole thing. All right, now I kind of wish I would have done the line here. I did the line here, and I wish I would have done the line there because it just went over quite a bit. But totally okay, totally okay. Oops, I see a spot. Look right here. Okay, you're gonna let that dry. You don't have to let it dry for very long. Before, you're gonna take your edible marker and we're gonna do just some simple eyes here. So you're gonna do up. I'm gonna do 2 little marks there. I'm gonna try and get the same. It's always the hardest part is getting that same arch. You want to let the ivory dry before you mark on it. I'm going to give it a little smirk because Rudolph always has a little smirk. And then you're going to add the nose. And I add just a little nose with my piping icing, like so. You could add in some dots here at the top if you wanted to, just to give it a little bit more texture. I think that's kind of pretty. Just to give it a little bit something else. But there you have it. So that's all 4 of our cookies today. You've got your Rudolph, your stocking, your Santa. I really like the Santa. It's one of my favorites. And your Christmas tree for your Lumberjack set. Super cute. Again, the Rudolph is the only one that is a Simply Renee Sweets cutter. The other three are from the Sweet Design Shop. So, oh, I almost forgot. He's got little things on his ears. Just like little, I don't know, little parts of his ears. All right, guys, this was super fun. I hope that you enjoyed this class. It was super exciting and great for beginners. So if you're not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can hit the bell button below to be notified when any of my new videos drop. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time.